Greetings, Fright Nights and Monster Girls. I'm Count Jackula.
And I'm the horror guru.
And we just saw Darlin.
The third part of the Cannibal Woman Trilogy. I don't know what else to call it, but
It's the Cannibal Woman Trilogy.
It's
the Woman Trilogy.
You have Offspring, and you have the woman, and now Darlin. But what makes this one special is that it's not just the third movie. It is the third movie made posthumously, made after the author of the original book died.
Yeah.
And made in his honor by Pollyanna
McIntosh, yeah.
Okay. Made by her, the actress who plays the woman, herself. She wrote it and directed it. And produced by the producer of The Woman and Offspring.
Yeah, one of the other producers was Jack Ketchum, who wrote the original Offspring and wrote part of the screenplay of The Woman with Lucky McKee, but he sadly passed during, I think, sometime during production of this film.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah.
So this movie's dedicated to him. Before we get into the main woman, I didn't care for The Offspring, but I loved The Woman.
Yeah,
The Woman's
I gotta agree.
Masterpiece. Everything The Woman is, The Offspring isn't, and vice versa.
Yeah, but the only thing that really stands out in The Offspring is Pollyanna McIntosh as the Cannibal Woman.
Yes.
You know, like, she's great throughout that entire movie, despite the fact that everything else in the movie is a piece of shit.
Absolutely. And I apologize if I'm stumbling over my words right now. This is the second time recording this vlog because of audio issues, and I'm a little tired.
Yeah, so,
we're going to try to cover all the bases.
Yeah. So this is the third movie that comes after The Woman, and The Woman is amazing.
Oh yeah, it is an utter masterpiece of just not only filmmaking, but also films about misogyny.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that one was very much about, like, American family misogyny.
Yeah. It's the American nuclear family, and, like, even though it's in a little bit of a more rural area, the kind of suburb world.
Yeah, it's like set in, like, Vermont, somewhere in New England.
Yeah, it's like that weird, like, halfway point between being totally rural and being in a suburb is kind of where this movie sits.
Yeah, I lived in an area that was like that, Now, this one, Darlin, picks up where the last movie, The Woman, left off.
Yep.
And the main... Gonna have to spoil a few things of The Woman for you.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen The Woman, then you might want to stop now, because we can't talk about the third one without talking about the first two.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so here's your cutoff point. Bam. All right. Still with us? Great. At the end of The Woman walks off into the forest with a pregnant girl, her little sister, and a girl who has been raised as a dog.
Also their sister, but yeah.
Yeah. So there's a sister that just goes...
Which, to be fair,
is blinded and shit. It's fucked up.
Which, to be fair, is not that dissimilar from the woman herself, but...
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, oh, well, that makes sense that the woman would get along with this one. So they walk off into the forest, and that's where that movie ends.
And this movie picks up with one of those daughters, or sisters, whatever you want to call them, and the woman, and we find out from there on, A, what the hell is happening to the two of them, and B, where did everyone else go? And that's the movie.
Yeah, that's the movie. Unlike The Woman, which is very much about, like, household misogyny, this one is about religion.
Yes.
This one is about religion, specifically the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
It is not kind. It is not a kind movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah, although it is not as horrific a movie as The Woman.
It's not as visceral a movie. It is a funnier movie.
Yeah, Darlin has a more lighthearted sense of humor.
But it doesn't have any less to say. It has a lot to say.
It has a lot to say, and it is very bloody.
Oh, yeah.
It's very gory. It just... The woman, that movie assaults you. Like, you feel like you have been bludgeoned over the fucking head by the end of that movie.
Well, and any humor in the woman is like really dark. Like Lucky McKee has a really dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
This movie is a little bit more tongue in cheek with its humor, and that includes some of its gore.
Yo, yeah, yeah. Like, this one uses gore as a punchline a little bit more than the woman does. In fact, there's really only, when I can think of it, there's only really the one scene where the gore is kind of the punchline, and it's not funny, it's satisfying. It's when she bites a guy's fucking finger off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she's just like, juicy finger. I love it.
So if you can't tell, we like this movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's better than The Woman, but I do think it is leaps and bounds above Offspring.
It's leaps and bounds above most movies.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Absolutely. And it is a terrific directorial debut by Pollyanna McIntosh. She did a bang up job with this movie, and I want to see more movies from her.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I give this movie the horns.
Oh, absolutely. Total horns. What's some things we could say before we get to the spoilers? Because this movie can be spoiled. There is shit.
Yeah. There's a lot to spoil.
There is some
in this
twists
film.
and turns in this, and not just the ones you're going to see coming. God, all the cast in this movie is great. I love the bishop dude, like the sleazy.
Oh yeah, the sleazy bishop. Yeah,
he's great. I love the nurse guy. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
The crazy homeless women are great.
Oh yeah. There's a subplot where the woman runs into these a camp of homeless women and kind of becomes one of them.
Yeah, they kind of form this weird little coven. I like that this movie also explores motherhood from the woman's point of view.
Oh yeah,
which is pretty cool, as well as coming of age through the eyes of a young cannibal.
Yeah, young teenage cannibal girl. So this is how this is the basic structure of the movie. The woman and one of the daughters from one of the girls from the previous film that she walks into the forest with show up at a hospital, and the woman is trying to get her to go inside the hospital.
We're not sure why, because they're not using words. They're just pointing and grunting. And snarling. Lots of snarling.
Yeah,
This movie will make you want to snarl.
Oh, yeah. So the girl gets hit by an ambulance that doesn't see her on the way into the hospital. They bring her in because she's been injured, and then she busts loose and starts running around the hospital. At which point, she's captured and sent off to this fucking, like, Catholic girls' reform school.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't know what else to do with her.
It's one of those schools for troubled youth that churches sometimes do, but specifically for girls.
Yeah. And the only person who seems to want to take care of her is this gay nurse who no one's going to let take care of her.
And in between him and the church itself is this one nun who's kind of like wants to help her, but is also kind of helping the church in this fucked up way.
Yeah, she's caught in the middle.
You kind of get like all these different layers of fucked upness going on here.
Yeah. If you remember, for those of you who've seen The Woman, she's in a very similar position as the mom is in The Woman.
Yep.
But unlike that character, she's not a piece of shit. It's not
completely. Not by the end.
Yeah. Like the mom in The Woman, turns out she's not good. She's just cowardly, and that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So bear in mind with that. That's the basic plot. The woman is now like wandering around looking for the girl who has gone, her adoptive daughter who's gone missing. And the church is slowly teaching this feral adoptive daughter like how to speak. And they talk to her about original sin and like all this jonks.
And so we get into this interesting existential thing with the girl where she's like learning all the religious shit and original sin and like lust is bad and stuff like that.
All the parts of being a girl that the church will tell you.
Yeah. for the first time and kind of dealing with her existential crisis while also dealing with the fact that she's a teenage girl. So there's a lot of things going on.
Things are happening.
And that's about as far as we can get into the spoilers. But what I really like is that this movie, it's kind of like a cross between The Woman and Raw, the French film.
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
But with a slightly more snarky sense of humor.
Yeah. Now, most of the really weighty scenes are given to the main character, the titular main character, Darlin.
And she does a great job.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Most of my favorite scenes are with Pollyanna McIntosh.
Oh my God, yes. She has so many golden fucking moments in this movie.
Yeah, because you have to understand she's a feral woman who doesn't talk.
Yeah, and we get a lot of her kind of interacting with the world. Because, like, Offspring, like, most of Offspring was in the woods, and then...
Yeah, the woman is in a house that's very close to the woods.
Yeah, in The Woman, she's trapped in that barn for most of the movie, so she doesn't really interact with the outside world much.
Yeah.
In this movie... She's like walking around town and shit, and it's great.
Yeah. She's trapped in town and interacting with like normal people, even though she's this feral cannibal woman. There's a point where she has to get into a car that is fucking hilarious.
Yep.
And there's a point where she walks into a baby store because she just kind of understands. You see how she puts together what this place is, and one person is like checking out a baby harness. You know, and she just walks up to them like a cat and just takes it and then just walks away.
You know that like total don't give a fuck cat thing where like they'll just do it. They don't really care. They have no emotions about it. We're just knock this thing over. I'm gonna take it.
Bing!
Yeah, that's basically what she's like in the city, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, and she, as we said before, joins a group of homeless women.
Yep.
And one of them is a prostitute, and she fucking kills the John because the John tries to rape the girl. And that's very satisfying because she's just like, you know, kill him, stab him, kill him, rip something off, eat him. So it's just, there are a lot of great scenes where it's really obvious that Pollyanna McIntosh is having a ball revisiting this character.
Well, I never thought I would say about one of the movies in this particular series that it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love The Woman, but it's not like a fun movie. That's a fucked up movie.
That one's super grim.
But this one's really fun.
Yeah, no, this one's much more lighthearted, and it's really, really, really good. So with that, I say we move on to spoilers. Okay, one of the big things to spoil about this movie is the entire time they're talking to Darlin about original sin and about the devil, and she comes to believe this. They're like, we're gonna get the devil out of you, and she's like, okay, you're gonna get the devil out of me, okay, like, and she buys into it really fucking quickly
and believes that like there's evil in her.
Believes that there's evil in her, and you're supposed to go, oh, she's feeling like horrible guilt about things that
total Catholic guilt.
Yeah, total Catholic guilt thing. No, turns out no.
Yeah.
What she's actually talking about is the fact that she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm. And I loved that twist because they kind of throw it in your face the whole movie.
They
but
do.
I still didn't put it together. Like really early on when she first enters the church and like realizes that her entire life is upside down and that she's basically being trapped and used by this church for their own means. She throws up in the bathroom, and I assumed that was just anxiety and nerves and stuff. I hadn't put together that it was she was pregnant.
Yeah, I had thought that was a possibility, but I found myself going like, nah, she's too young. We're not going to do that. And then we did.
And then they also showed that like one of the things that happened in the woods in between movies is she ran across this boy who was injured, and the boy was attracted to her, and she was attracted to the boy, and they had sex, and then the mom made her eat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have that, plus the throwing up, plus the evil inside thing she's saying the whole time, and I still didn't fucking put it together until she took her fucking coat off.
Yeah, she takes her coat off, and she's got the belly, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh, and she takes it off. And the other spoiler in the movie, the one that you will see coming, and that's when we find out that priest dude, bishop guy. Total pedophile.
Bishop Uncle Touchy's Puzzle Chapel. You won't wear a shirt and you'll cry.
They really ran the gamut in this one because not only was it obviously supposed to be like a Catholic church, they even gave her a baptism.
They did. Well, they gave her like a Baptist style baptism too.
Yep.
So like, even though it's technically a Catholic church because it's got bishops and archbishops and nuns and shit like that, you really are supposed to get the feeling that we're talking about Christianity in general here.
In general, mainly Catholicism, but like we're hitting some of the other ones too.
Yeah, exactly. And so, turns out the reason they're at the hospital is because the reason the girl is scared of this pregnancy is, you remember when we mentioned that she went off into the woods with a sister who was also pregnant?
Yes.
Okay, turns out she died in childbirth.
Yep.
She died, the baby died, and she watches it.
Yeah, the pregnant sister from the second movie, technically.
Yeah.
From the previous movie, she died in childbirth, and then the mom made her eat the remains of the baby.
Yeah, she's like, okay, well, meat is meat. Here, eat up, darling. And except she didn't use fork and knife. She just...
And this is obviously the thing that traumatized Darlin. And so when the church starts telling her there's an evil inside you, and she doesn't understand how pregnancy works or what it's all about.
Yeah.
All she knows is this thing came out of her sister, and her sister died, and then she ate it.
Yeah, and then it started happening to her.
Yeah, and so she's like, I have an evil inside of me. I must get this out of me.
Because it's going to kill me eventually, because that's what happens.
And this leads to her drinking a lot of bleach, and the woman searching for her around town and eventually coming upon the church and killing the creepy bishop.
Yeah.
in a beautiful sequence with her coven of crazy homeless women.
Oh, yeah. I love the horrific twist of like, you are trying to figure out, because she escapes the church at one point and then kind of comes back, and you're like, okay, why did she do that? Well, you put together, because they're talking about getting the devil out of her, they think they are essentially going to give her an abortion, even though she doesn't understand that's what it is.
Yeah.
But of course, it's a Catholic church, so they're not going to do that.
You're going to have the baby.
And the whole reason that she was going into the hospital at the woman's behest is because the woman doesn't understand medicine, but she understands women go into building, have children, come out with children alive. She understands that. And the detail from the end of The Offspring, this is the one reason you might want to see The Offspring for plot reasons.
I would watch all three just because it gives you a little bit more perspective into each movie to watch them.
Yeah. And in the first one, in The Offspring, you get to watch fucking Pollyanna McIntosh lead a fucking old man Gimp around.
Yeah.
You know, that's a pretty good scene.
It's true.
You know, like that was, I think that was my favorite scene in the movie, actually.
Well, it is the best scene.
Where it's just like, come on, Gandalf the Gimp, fucking follow me. I'm like, guys, this is the whole movie. This is great. So she understands roughly how a hospital is supposed to work because she's not stupid. She's feral.
Yeah.
You know, so she has cunning, but doesn't really understand how shit works. So she assumes for a while that the girl is just in the hospital because she's hanging around the hospital.
Yeah.
You know?
She likes looking in the windows and stuff. And when she can't find her, she goes after the nurse to try to find out where she went.
Yeah.
The nurse that took her in.
Oh, God, that reminds me of the scene with the clown.
Oh, yeah.
There's a clown in the hospital.
This movie has quite the body count, almost unnecessarily so, but thank you for doing it.
Yes.
Because the woman just kills random ass fucking people when she's wandering through the hospital and around town.
Yeah.
She kills a fucking homophobic doctor. She kills a creepy clown. She kills a police officer. That John that was gonna rape the prostitute. She kills the bishop.
Yeah, this thing has a higher body count than the woman.
It does. It does. I'm pretty sure. I mean, by the end of the woman, it might. No, actually, no. I think it's still higher.
Yeah. There's because the body count in the woman is like under 5, and this one's a little like 5 or 6. You know, like we came up with 5 just off the top of our heads. And that probably isn't even all of them.
I feel like I'm missing one. I do feel like I'm missing one.
Yeah, I do feel like I'm missing one.
Besides boyfriend she had to eat.
Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot that they fucking...
Sister technically dies too, but the sister dies off screen, and then you see the...
Yeah, that's not... That doesn't... Like...
That's another thing.
She dies, she's not killed.
When I first started watching this, I was really confused because the actress who plays the nun looks very similar to the sister from The Woman. But it turns out it's not. It's actually one of the actresses from The Descent. But funny enough, the actress from The Woman who played the sister who was pregnant, who dies in this movie, she was in another movie called Darlin that I reviewed on my channel. That was like the black and white Polanski worship film. And believe you me, that led to a lot of confusions when people were talking about this movie that's related to The Woman and called Darling. I'm like, I feel like I already saw that movie.
Yeah, because you're like, related to? Oh, is it because it has the same actress? Like, yeah, I found this out because I think it was Nerdy Philosopher or something. Nice. It was like, hey, have you seen this sequel to The Woman that just came out? And I'm like, what? What? Look, I know I miss a lot of movies. A lot of movies get by me, but that really feels like one I should have known about.
The thing is that I was hearing about it, but I just thought people were talking about the movie I already saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was really confused.
Yeah. So, real different movie.
Yep.
So if you see like a girl with black and white face and it says Darling in fancy letters, and she looks like this, you know, that's the Polanski one with the girl from the second movie. If you see one with a picture of a woman with a dirty face and long hair, like, and she's like, her giant head is like looming over a girl on the ground, that's this one. You know, look for the name Pollyanna McIntosh. That will fucking tell you what you need to know. And one of the things that they did do in this movie that I wanted to bring up was the fact that it's a fantastic example of what women can bring to the table that guys would not have thought of.
Oh, 100%. The way it handled both the feral girl's coming of age experience on top of her dealing with the church and what the church was instilling in her, that was handled in a way that I don't think would have been nearly as... I don't think it would have been done nearly as well if a dude had done it. No,
because I don't think that they would have understood that there is this potential fear of childbirth. Mm-hmm. Because, it's not until more or less the modern day that the successful birth rate has been really good. It has historically been 50-50 crapshoot, you know, and that can often include the life of the mother. So
also
there's a really good chance you're going to be dealing with, you're either going to die or you're going to deal with loss.
Also, not even just the subtle ways it's handled, like even right down to the fact that like the priest wants to fuck her.
Yeah.
Until he finds out she's pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's too much, you know?
I'm like, you're already a fucking creepy pedophile, dude. Man.
I like the fact that the girl who played Darlin, her performance reminded me a lot of Hannah Freerman's performance in VHS.
Oh, it's very similar, yeah.
You know, like, you know, I like you. You know, like, Darlin does not, well... Until she gets to the church, she doesn't talk as much as Lily. She
eventually, the church tries to civilize her and successfully does. However, it comes with a price.
Yeah. But there's a lot of her, like, running around the ground. And even the scene where she finds the boy and kisses him and all that stuff, that has a very beautiful, almost innocent tone to it, despite the fact that he's sitting there with a completely busted leg and she eats him afterwards.
He was apparently mountain climbing and fell and broke his leg.
Yeah. So it's like his knee bends the wrong way now. And I just, like I said, I like the fact that it felt so innocent, yet she's obviously fucking this guy and then is told to eat him, and she's like, okay.
It's fucked up.
It's super fucked up. And I like the detail that when she talks about it, she's like, it felt wrong to eat someone who smells like love.
Yep.
And I'm like, ooh.
Yep.
Oh, this is we're getting places now.
Yep.
Now we're cooking with gas. So I highly recommend Darlin.
Highly. It is quite good. If you like movies like Raw, if you like movies like The Woman, if you couldn't handle The Woman, you'll probably be able to handle Darlin.
Yeah, this one's a bit gentler.
Yeah. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there.
And you know me, I'm Count Jackula. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I am on Twitch. And I stream here on YouTube twice a week, once on Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and again on Sunday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we talk about all sorts of groovy things like occultism, Satanism, whatever like weird religious thing is happening like, that week. And often we talk about a lot of women's issues. I don't know if it's respectful. I hope it is. At least respectful enough. So, wait, we got the Patreon. So, if you want to help support the show, it will absolutely help. No donation is too small, and our thanks for a small donation is absolutely effluvious. We love you, we love you, we love you, love you, love you. We love you, love you. Love you, loving love. We love you like a cannibal woman loves meat.
I thought you were going to say a dying mountain climber for a second.